when we have Cornelius going, the camera shot is over Zira's shoulder, through a doorway, watching him at the window. It's beautifully constructed because it says 2 spaces. That's what they're doing. They're escaping. I think the one thing they should have done, to our point about that there are no guards, why, when he opened the door, did we not just see a guard like walking down
away,
the hallway?
Yeah.
Because then that's a threat, and all it does is heighten the fact that we're already worried for them. We already know what the council wants to do, but you apply immediate threat that they might get caught.
It just goes stereotypical. They've been such good model prisoners or whatever that the guard that's sitting there has fallen asleep in the chair.
Yeah, and they have to be quiet. That's the only thing missing from the scene. If that scene had some nod to some presence that could catch them, it'd make it better.
I'm going to make some noise because I'm getting up. I have to act out this next part because I do not understand how the orderly ended up the way he is.
I agree.
Oh, no, we all definitely agree with that. And so what I'm going to do...
Zira grabs her carpet bag, runs out, she shuts the door behind it, and then the scene, because the audience was hearing it, not seeing it, then pans down from her picking up the carpet bag and closing the door to the orderly now on the ground.
So here's what I want to do, because Sean wants to act. Richard, I want you to spin your mic towards Sean.
Yeah.
No, just do this. Spin that. Now what I want you to do is slide Sean's mic over to yourself. A little bit of rejiggering here so that we can get this to work. Okay. But this at least gives you somewhat of a presence.
So if I'm the orderly, you can see me. I'm holding my tray here.
Sean's standing in front of me with a tray in front of him.
I'm wearing my hat backwards because this will be the wound on my head.
Yes.
If I get hit and I drop my tray and I fall down
forward, you fell forward.
By the way, my wife, who's right below us in my house, wonders who just died and fell. Yeah.
But he's on his face with a wound on the back of his head. How does he end up like that?
Well, okay, so let's imagine this. He was... You want to switch back?
Yeah, let's switch.
Okay, so let's imagine this. Cornelius pushes his tray up. He falls back, hits his head on the wall, then falls causing the wound maybe, and then falls forward onto the ground, and then he's now face down. But he wouldn't be, his head
but
wouldn't
I think
be towards the wall.
We'd also see blood on the wall, and I don't think that's ever established.
And I think to both of your points, what is it that causes the wound? It
looks like a hole or something.
And it is like a puncture wound, and there is blood splatter.
Now, the glass pitchers on the ground, the oranges on the ground. I see no evidence of soup being in the bowls.
Technically, in the previous minute, when you saw it, everything in his tray was plastic.
Yeah.
He didn't have a glass pitcher because he was going to be throwing up and dropping it. It's easier to reset with plastic than...
But what should have been behind him is some kind of corner that he could have fallen back.
A dead. The head of the desk.
You could have the moment of Cornelius hitting the tray. He stumbles back. You could have his foot. You could go to a shot of his foot slipping, go to a shot of his head hitting a corner. Then you cut to that, and who cares how he lands at that point because there's been something to flip him.
Well, okay,
we just don't have anything that causes the injury, which is the bigger problem.
But is the dramatic reveal supposed to be that he's now on the floor bleeding? I mean that
yes.
more.
Yeah, we don't know if he's dead or injured at this point.
The point being to all of you. He wouldn't fall the way he falls.
Yeah.
The fall is convenient so we can see his injury. The injury makes no sense because there's nothing. He's hit nothing. He's done nothing.
It would have been more, again, you showed Cornelius' strength where instead of hitting the food out of his tray, he shoves him over a table and then you see him behind the table. Maybe you do the audio of a snap noise. So maybe he broke his neck, but you don't know because he's behind the table, which Abe gets the character out of the view, so whenever security comes in, wait, the apes are gone. I don't see it behind the table. Right. There's the orderly, and his neck is at a strange angle.
And if there's ever been a moment that I'm going to finally come in on one thing Sean's been pushing for in this movie over and over is that we should have been taught about the ape's strength prior to this. The things that must be said. We should have known that they could at least do harm. Now, what really bothers me as much as how he's turned and the injury is they don't react. They're both doctors.
Yeah.
And they don't look at their, oh my God, I think you killed him. That moment is missing here. They simply, oh my God, he's on the ground, we got to go.
Because then you could say, oh my God, he's dead. Well, what do you think they're going to do to us? Let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you need something like that. Now, we are already sympathetic to them, but without a reaction of, oh my God, you did that. I didn't mean to hurt him. We've got to go. Without that, now they're unsympathetic in this. Now they're killers. And now we're not going to go to that point, but you have put them as villainous in the way this is cut.
Or he's not dead yet at this point. You hear him moaning as you see a pool of blood getting bigger and bigger, and he was alive when we left.
Look, I understand why they felt the need to kill him, because it does now. The apes
puts the apes in. They're the danger. Yeah,
they're a threat now to the humans. They've killed someone. I get that. It just needed to be. Man, that needed to be executed much better. So, I mean, it all makes sense. It does the right thing. And oddly, even though it's not executed properly and we can break it down like this, I like the push of the film and the reason they're able to get out. It all makes sense.
There could have been even the simplicity when she reaches her bag, she sees the order and she goes, Cornelius.
Yeah, and then he grabs her and pulls her out.
He insists that we got to go. So she's not even able to.
Because, again, if we set up the security guards or something around the corner, asleep, whatever, that's their urgency to get out of there. We can't check on him because they're going to be back any minute.
You can make the argument, though, why you don't have a security guard there is because there's so much clamoring going on within that room with the breaking of glass, with all that they would have heard. They would have rushed there.
Yeah.
So there are things you can argue back and forth, but I think I like the idea that maybe Zira, the whole thing, she goes for it and he's like, we can't help him now.
Or they knock out the orderly, security comes in with a gun, there's a struggle, you do the whole thing where they're chest to chest and the gun goes off and then the guard slumps down and then that's when they have to escape. Because yes, there was a death, but it was unintentional.
Right.
It was our struggle for freedom is what
that would have been interesting. Yeah. I mean, I can't play the choreography out in my head, but if he's inadvertently shot, well, then I don't know. They would find out that he wasn't killed by the two of them.
Yeah.
Unless we'd have to see the guard at that point kind of like throwing them under the bus for the death of this guy.
Ultimately, we need the apes to be out of that room. We need them to be probably, it looks like they're trying to put them on the run to an extent. We need, from a story standpoint, to escalate this to a new level. So if that's occurred, I'm going to be curious in a year when I go back and watch this film again, if I'm able to kind of glaze myself over and not see that, well, how the hell did he die? You know? I think that ruined, that may be the first tainting of anything that I've had, because I really don't recall this watching it before. There was like, what? How did he die?
This is your first
my
ape
first
ape taint.
My note of the, face downwards and broken glass, blood being spread across the wall was like, shit.
Face down, ass up. This is how we like to die. Wait, what?
Wow, I think that may be the end of minute 65 when Sean starts chanting, ranting, rapping, whatever that was.
You remember that song?
No, I'm just saying the fact that the way he did it, there was forget it. I'm being musician boy where there was no real rhythmic nature to what he did in parts of it. I'm being a dick. Sean's going to cry.
Throw my phone.
I know, exactly.
Okay, that's minute 65. Today, let's remember this. We've got at least some personal endeavors. This is half of why we do this. We get to promote ourselves. Richard, how can people find Zeus Comics?
At Zeus Comics.
ZeusComics.com.
.edu.
Zeus Comics anywhere.
So I don't know that we've ever done this. When we've talked about living in the Dallas area and that Zeus Comics is, look, it's within reach of where we live. What's the address for Zeus Comics?
1334 Inwood Road. It's near downtown Dallas.
Okay.
If I were to put it on a map.
There you go. So if you're around this area, take the time to go down there.
Yeah.
I'm going to promote. I've got a band that plays in this area called the Dive Bar Boombox. We're an Americana band. We've got banjo, fiddle, but we play 80s and 90s hits. So it's a little bit of a new way. We try to make it a fun party thing. You can find us either at Dive Bar. It's dbbbx.com. Oh my God, I almost forgot.
So simple.
Or you could just simply put in divebarboombox.com. Or if you like to go on Facebook, it's facebook.com/dbbbx. And you can find us and find out where we're playing in this area. Sean,
cool.
do you have anything you want to promote?
No, I'm good.
Wow, Sean, we got to find something for you to do.
I have a Venmo account that you can send money.
We'll be back tomorrow with a in-between. Do we have a subject for in-between yet?
We'll figure it out. We got a whole day to crack that.
Hey, here's your tease. We'll do an in-between. For everybody, have a great weekend. See you later.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.